What's going on YouTube? It's your buddy, everybody's buddy, Craftsman, and today coming back with another video. I went out and bought me a Bauer DA polisher. I've been having my eye on this thing for quite a while. This thing looked really good in the store, and I haven't even opened this one yet. And I've been wanting something like this for in the shop because I do like to polish with a rotary. I like to give it a good cut first so you could really level down that top layer first. But for a swirl-free finish, you have to have something like this. And I had been using the other rotary that they had there, and you know, it's a bone shaker. The thing rattles like crazy, but it's not a bad tool. It really isn't, and you can get some decent results with it. Now, I would recommend that smaller one on something like polishes and waxes for a top coat, but for cutting and polishing, you really need something that's really aggressive. You want a big 6-inch surface area to be able to work with, and this thing definitely looks beefy in the store. 7.5 amps it says here. I don't know if you could ever believe what's really on a box, but I'll tell you, it got me to buy it. So we're gonna break into this thing right now. I'm going to be using this cart as my buffing cart, and I'm going to find some kind of project around here in the shop to do. Let's see what we got. Of course, your instructions telling you it's made in China. Oh man, I didn't even know that they gave you a pad. I went out and bought a couple of their crappy pads just to show you what could be achieved with it here, but we'll put them all to the test here. This is a yellow pad. It feels fairly spongy, and then the cells look pretty big, so this is probably more of a polishing pad than or a cutting pad than a polishing pad. But that's cool that it comes with that. All right, and yeah, really simple in the box there. They got it, this is one of the things I already don't like. If it's sitting in a box like that, well, it's going to leave some kind of warpage there in the pad, and I could already blatantly tell there's a spot that's just not even with the pad. In fact, this whole pad looks pretty crappy. Where that would be a bigger problem with sanding, and I do believe you could sand with this thing and get some great results. I'll even do that for you. I don't think it's going to affect polishing too much because you do have so much of a surface area there. And man, I'll tell you what, that already feels like I'm going to be polishing for the Tour de Course Concourse. All right, let's find something in the shop to buff. I'm going to go through a sanding demonstration for you real quick, and right here I have the old school DA polisher that they've had for quite a while at Harbor Freight, and I have used this thing for polishing, and it works pretty good. But I think the Bauer is going to have the more the oomph to really get stuff done. So I got an old piece of 180 here, and I'm just going to show you that you don't need a air-powered pneumatic DA to actually sand. You could use something like this, and I'll tell you, this thing's a beast when it comes to sanding. Now that's an old piece of 180 right there. You can see it's already clogged with all kinds of crap, and it still sanded that surface really well there. And yeah, if you don't have a big enough compressor to really do DA work, well, go out and get yourself one of them, and you could really use it for that. All right, here I found an old piece of 80 just laying on the floor because I guess I don't believe in cleaning up after myself. I'm just gonna put that on there. Plug it in quick, and let's see how well this thing does at sanding. beefy. Now that's 80 grit. It definitely took it off a lot faster there. But man, I'll tell you, like I said, if you don't have a big enough compressor to really run a DA, you could use that. Now, I wouldn't be using it to interchangeable though. If you dedicate it to sanding, I would dedicate it to sanding. And if you have one just for polishing, keep it for polishing. You'll be getting all kinds of dirt, dust, debris in there, and it'll come out in your polishing, and you'll have some problems that you won't even know where they're coming from, but I can tell you that's where they're coming from. All right, let's polish something with it. All right, guys, so I found the perfect test car. This is Greta Fireberg. And this is my 1986 Pontiac Trans Am. I've showed on the channel a couple times. And I'm a bit of an eccentric character, so I at one point went ahead and buffed half of my hood, just for fun, I guess. I don't know. But as you can see, yeah, there's a pretty distinct line down the middle of that. And as you can see, there is definitely a bunch of wash, scratches, and oxidation going on with this hood. So what I hope to do is take them out. I'm gonna set you right down here. I'm gonna get you in a good spot where you can see the light here. I cheated and went ahead and used this pad already, just so I wouldn't totally embarrass myself on YouTube. Alright, and I've cleaned it off again, and you gotta get some clean microfibers here. Make sure surface is nice and clean. And look, guys, I'm not a professional buffer. You want to see all that stuff, go to Obsessed Garage or go to Chemical Guys or something like that. I'm going to use the crap you're going to use because, yeah, I don't have the money like Cletus or anything to make turbo anything. So we're going to put a couple dabs on there. And then we're going to start on the lowest setting while I'm smearing this on. All the way low. And one of the things I've noticed on this is the switch is a little bit awkward here. It doesn't really hold too good, so I'm gonna have to work with that a little bit. And another thing I found, like, this isn't very balanced, kind of like I was saying, and you really have to make sure that you get this pad on here just right for it to work right. All right. It's got a nice slow start feature to itself, and this has got to be a single stage paint here. I'm bringing up a lot of that oxidation here on the pad. You're going to have to clean this out a whole lot if you're going to do this whole car. But now that I got this all smeared on there, we're going to crank it up to about 5. You're going to see that slow start feature kick in, and then it's going to just kick ass. Alright, that's about all I care to do. See how it looks. It definitely feels a whole hell of a lot smoother. And it smells like a crayon, so I'm guessing this is definitely a single stage. But yeah, we did get rid of some oxidation there, that's for sure. What do you think? Pretty big difference, right? Now, I couldn't help myself but to do that there just because I knew that was going to be the most dramatic difference. But yeah, this thing's going to work great for you. And it's really going to work best for compounding, cutting a lot of scratches out of your car, a lot of wash scratches and stuff like that. Those are the kind of results and kind of things you want to use it for. And well, why not? Let's polish this thing too. I'm gonna go one more round of cut, and then I'm gonna use the other pads here, and then we'll do one of polishing. So if there's anything I know about this, it's to put a nice, steady, firm pressure right in the middle of your pad and really deliver that thing. You don't want to be up on the edges too much or anything like that. And yeah, you definitely get some buildup there. So either you're going to be cleaning out these pads on a project like this, a whole bunch, or you could buy a whole bunch of pads and clean them all out at the end, or you could just not care and just go to town, I guess. I don't know. All right. Now that was actually McGuire's 1, I think it's called. It's a heavier cut compound, and I'm using this stuff too because I figured you guys would be familiar with a lot of this stuff. And this is something you could just buy at Advance or probably even Harbor Freight. What I normally use is some Americana. That's some great compound, and whenever I do my restorations or whatever, that's what I use. But here we go with some fine cut cleaner. This thing's already looking, wow, way better than I would have even thought. You could definitely see a lot of clarity, even from the side that's already been buffed before. That fading's already coming back. I really didn't do too good of a job on that side, but I'm a body man and painter, not a buffer. All right, whoa. Prime your pad here. This stuff is looking horrible. Set it at your lowest. Well, that's something you definitely don't want to do. Wow, that was pretty fucking dangerous. And that was a fail on my behalf. I didn't even notice that thing coming out of there. It's an Allen key to adjust some stuff. Wow, that wasn't cool, really. That thing vibrated itself right out of there. Oh, good for me. I didn't try that on a car I cared about there. That wouldn't have been a fun time. All right, look at that black. I'd say there's a huge difference right there to right there. Yeah, you can see me. Doesn't look too bad, right? There's a lot of crazing going on with the paint and stuff, but yeah, even over the side that I polished already to there. So yeah, well, this isn't about buffing anyway. This is more about what I think of the product, and it really did the trick. And it feels definitely hefty. It's a brushed motor here. It says it goes through 7.5 amps at 60 hertz, and man, that's a real tool. Now it's definitely warm. It's not so warm that you can't touch it. I just lied there. That part right there gets warm. I'm sure there's a drive in here that's working overtime to get all that power down through the pad. The grip at the bottom is nice. If there's one thing I'll show you here, though, it does give you a lot of flex there, which ain't too good. I think I'm actually going to wrap that with some hockey tape or something, because when you're really getting down and putting pressure on different areas, you want that to be pretty accurate. But yeah, other than that, it feels real good in your hand. You could always get back here and help control the way that the pad's facing with its knob tight grip at the bottom. And it goes from min to 6, which really doesn't mean nothing. You're just slinging it right there at around 6. This thing's got all the power that you want, though. You could probably sit on this thing and try to buff, and it'll still spin. It's a little bit bigger than most nice buffers that I know, but I think that's because they put one of their beefier engines in here, motors. For $110 though, you can't beat it. It does everything you want it to, and just because it has a couple minor flaws to it doesn't mean you can't get some good results with it. So now I either have to drive around with a crappy looking hood or polish the rest of my car. So it's hot. I'm gonna just go home. Thanks for watching. Car Craftsman out.